This is what you do when you have high standards and fancy all the fancy things, like a Dior saddlebag or that diamond tennis bracelet. You go to eBay. There you'll find new loves that will never disappoint, expertly authenticated. Whether it's that vintage pearl necklace or brand new ruby earrings, a Prada crossbody bag, or classic watches like that Rolex Oyster or that Cartier tank. On eBay, there are no limits to your high standards. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved vintage and rare fashion. eBay, things people love.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids instantly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy, knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Sign up for Greenlight today at greenlight.com/iHeart.
This is Dr. Laurie Santos from the Happiness Lab. Many people have questions about how to improve levels of happiness. Living a healthy lifestyle is one sure way of increasing happiness. And a good place to start is with your oral health. Just a few small changes to your oral care routine, such as changing your toothpaste to Colgate Total, can lead to beneficial changes in your oral health. Colgate Total helps stop oral health problems like gingivitis and cavities before they start, because preventing oral health problems is a lot easier than treating them. Be dentist ready and get Colgate Total at shop.colgate.com/total.
This holiday season, surprise everyone on your list with the best gifts. Tickets to see their favorite artists live. Choose from thousands of concerts and comedy shows, including Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, Matt Matthews, Metallica, Thomas Rhett, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Sarah Silverman, and so many more. Share a memory together or give a gift they'll never forget. Find the most exciting gift for every fan at livenation.com/gifts. That's livenation.com/gifts.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Maybe you're settled at home, alone, or with loved ones, covered in blankets, about to watch your favorite show. It's cozy, it's calm, and you're ready for a perfect night in. Therapy can feel a bit like that, a place for comfort, a time when you replenish your energy and take care of yourself. And hey, you can even do it without leaving that same cozy couch. This season is the perfect time to give therapy a try, right from the comfort of home. With BetterHelp, get matched with a tailored therapist based on your needs and preferences, entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more and save 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Zoe, and you're listening to Climbing in Heels for your weekly dose of glamour, inspiration, and fun. I woke up with a bad headache today. That could be a result of my life.
We had a beautiful dinner. Rachel gave us all a beautiful gift. It's
yes.
her little tradition with us, and we all love it, and it's so fun. And it's like, really, I feel like we do try to get together a couple times throughout the year.
Yeah.
But the holiday dinner is always like the one that nobody misses.
Yep.
Everyone comes to.
And it was lifers.
And it was
lifers.
What?
So a few new lifers, like Madison. Yeah. Newest addition to the lifers.
I know.
But
she's such a good addition.
I have the lifer crew. And, you know, my thing is, I think the days of like the loud disco, embarrassingly drunk, one employee ends up falling on their face and hating themselves the next day.
Guys, if we were like legally able to tell you some of the shit that has gone down at Rachel Zoe Inc. Christmas parties.
And by the way, it was never me. By the way, let's be very clear. It was never me.
No. It was never you. It was never ever you. It was never ever me. But there have been characters throughout the years that have
embarrassed themselves.
Yeah.
Fallen asleep at the party, woke up the next day. Well, I shouldn't say fallen asleep, blacked out. Or also
there was a broken shoe incident one year that I'll never forget.
There was a makeout.
There was a makeout with an audience. There was a makeout with an audience. So, yes, we did our holiday dinner, and it was very tame and responsible,
and also like
lovely.
Maybe my favorite one.
Yeah, it was perfect.
It was my people. It was real. It was fun. I have the most loyal, dedicated team / extended family that is by my side through all the crazy.
All the crazy.
And I will say this, the only way I know how to thank them is with diamonds. And this year it was with Ring Concierge Diamonds and quite literally a ring. A diamond wrap ring for
it's so
everyone.
Pretty.
And it's gorgeous.
I have mine on right now. It's so beautiful. I actually have my other ring that Rachel gave me also. And Rachel and I always laugh because it has 3 little stones in it. So we always pretend we're like doing a jewelry ad and it's our past, present, and future.
It is.
No, it was beautiful. Yes, we are all so lucky that Rachel loves to gift diamonds. When she says that, she likes to give jewelry. She's not lying.
I'm not lying.
She definitely backs that up. Okay, so how are you feeling in the midst of, we're halfway through December, you have an invitation to go out every night, sometimes 2 invitations in one night. You're halfway through. How you doing? How you holding up?
You know, it's funny because they say it so, I hesitate to sound in any way that I'm complaining because I know how blessed I am and I know how beautiful all these events are. And I don't ever take that for granted. But sometimes, you know, because I am a person that really prides myself on showing up.
Yep.
It's sometimes, you know, you just kind of want to stay home in a bathrobe and do nothing. And so I think, but I do love celebrating everyone and I do love a fun night and being with people I adore and I never regret it. And I always come home with a big smile on my face. And what I do find is, especially this year, pushing myself to go has really served me.
Yeah, it has.
I wake up with a smile on my face instead of being stuck in where I was emotionally the night before.
Yeah, that's smart.
You know?
Yeah.
So I recommend that for people if they're sort of contemplating the like, should I, shouldn't I? I'm too tired. I don't feel like getting dressed up. I think the thing you need to ask yourself is, are the people that you're going to be with people that you want to spend your time with and people that make you feel better and don't feel like an obligation and people that you're excited about? And I think that will serve you and make you feel full.
It's so true.
You know?
It's so true. I think, well, you're very lucky to have a wonderful group of girlfriends that a lot of these invites for a lot of these holiday things are through your personal friends and friendships.
Yep.
But I heard Reese Witherspoon say on a podcast once that like friendship is a system of deposits and withdrawals. And that the end of the year is a good time to reflect back and take a look at like what you feel like your checking account for friendship is, like who's withdrawing a lot without depositing and vice versa.
She's right.
And that analogy just always works for me because it makes it very simple to see like who's matching your energy and who's showing up for you and vice versa.
I would agree with that.
Yes.
I would agree with that. And I think that, Reese, I find myself sort of like, you know how you get served different things on Instagram, like based on what you're thinking or saying? Uh-huh. I find that I get served Reese things very often and Oprah things very often. Duh. And I'm like, yes, exactly. I agree. And I think my favorite quote from Reese was like, the sooner you learn to give 0 fucks, the happier you will be.
Yep.
And she's 100% right.
Yes. That I do think is a blessing of getting older. Like,
I agree with that.
Because I
wouldn't know because I'm not getting older.
You wouldn't know because you're actually Benjamin Button over here. But I do think that is that's one of the luxuries of experience in life is that you can give less fucks and really mean it. Mm-hmm. You know, I can say I don't, and then I'm secretly like, oh, but I really care what they think about me.
Well, I think it's natural to do so.
Yeah. We're only human. Okay, you started to say this, but is this true? You're hosting a group of 11-year-olds?
I am
on top of your schedule?
I am. I've opted to host 15 11-year-old boys.
Oh, my.
At my house on Friday.
Okay. That'll be fun. We're going to celebrate Caius' birthday. That's the party, right?
Mm-hmm. I would like everyone to know that in his now 11-year life, I'm going to say 6 of the 11 years, the party has been postponed due to weather or illness.
That's right. Yes.
So I enter the party kind of knowing in my mind there's a 90% chance this is being moved till after the new year.
There's a backup date.
Yeah, 100%.
That's so funny. I remember that. I feel like 2 or 3 years in a row, poor Caius woke up with like a fever on his birthday party. Yeah, and that was like, and that was even like before COVID times, but we were still super hyper.
No, and we're in 6 season.
Yeah, exactly. Well, knock wood.
Knock wood. Knock everything.
Everything's going to be fine.
Knock it all.
It's going to be fab.
This episode is brought to you by eBay. Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love. I don't know about you, but the holidays are here and my calendar is full of events. Yes, I'm on the go a lot, but it seems like December is always nonstop. And if you ask anyone around me, they will tell you that I typically have zero clue what I'm wearing until I'm physically walking out the door. I know, I'm a stylist that waits till the last possible minute to style herself. True story. Whether you're looking for a sparkly dress, the perfect jumpsuit, or a sleek blazer, eBay is the answer. It's literally so easy to search and shop for the most amazing pieces that are hard to find. I genuinely don't believe in purchasing something you know you are only going to wear once in your life. I always told my styling clients and friends that it is way better to invest in a piece that you will get usage out of. Honestly, the ultimate girl math is calculating cost per wear, but I could do an entire podcast episode about that. So shop smart this season on eBay and find the luxury gems that will take you through the holidays and beyond. My advice is stick to more neutral colorways. You can add color with accessories and look for classic silhouettes that you can dress up for holiday parties and then dress down for the rest of the year. I always love the idea of an embellished suit that can be worn together for a more polished look or styled as separates in a cool and effortless way. Explore eBay's incredible selection of designer fashion and luxury accessories, and don't be like me. Pick your outfit before you are running out the door. We've all got a thing, and it's on eBay. Maybe it's scoring all the vintage finds, building an entire wall of sneakers, or hunting down a deal on that designer bag. So go find the thing like that holiday dress you've been eyeing. Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Okay, today I thought we would bring people some fashion news that they need to know.
Okay.
So I want to kick things off with arguably your maybe most favorite fashion designer of all time, which is John Galliano.
Yes, he is. He is in my top 5.
He's in your top 5, and he
likely top 3, but yes, let's just say top 5 for argument's sake.
And yeah, I mean, I think he's like top 3 for sure. But he is leaving Maison Margiela
after 10 years,
after a decade.
And for anyone who doesn't know, because I do recognize that fashion is still inside baseball.
Yep.
He was the mastermind, genius behind Christian Dior. For I don't know how long he was at Dior, but
a while.
From the late 90s until 10 years ago, you know.
Yes, and then he moved over to Maison Margiela, and now he is leaving. They have not named the predecessor.
I can't even imagine, because this is where fashion plays the game.
Yep.
Who's landing there? Who's landing there? Who's landing there?
It's like the Tetris game.
But it's a very specific brand.
Yes,
Margiela.
it's
It's not something where you say, oh, who is a designer that just makes beautiful gowns, or, you know, 70s glamour.
Right.
Or
it's bigger
not
than that.
It's a very unique, distinct, eccentric,
very
unpredictable brand.
Yes.
Margiela.
Perfect way to describe it. Okay, so if you're John Galliano, what do you do next? Like, what do you do next?
Take a long vacation, but he won't.
But those
he won't.
Those designers never retire.
They
correct. Don't stop.
You're correct about that.
Karl Lagerfeld worked till he passed.
Here's the thing. There are a very, very small, finite group of brilliant masterminds of fashion. Mm-hmm. And we've lost some of them.
Yes.
But I would say there is a vast difference between a brilliant designer creative director than a brilliant, literal, it's beyond an artist. It's like the Michelangelo, it's like the prolific, almost surreal mindset, like a psychology of a certain type of mind, like Karl Lagerfeld,
right?
And like John Galliano.
Yes.
These people sketch in their sleeps. They literally wake up in the middle of the night and sketch like 10 things,
right?
Throw it on the ground,
yeah,
and maybe it gets made, maybe it doesn't, maybe a dog eats it. Who the frick knows,
right?
But they have to get it out, and so I think those minds have to always be celebrated. And I think they're hard to replace.
Very.
So you have to know you're never going to get the same thing. You're never going to. There is no like-minded John Galliano.
Right.
I'm here to say that.
Right. Yeah. There's no like protege. Like, yeah.
No,
he's
but
very
like
specific.
That's not to say that there isn't another one being grown out of Central St. Martin's or FIT or Parsons or, anywhere. It doesn't mean it won't exist. They won't exist. It just means it's not often.
Yeah.
It is a rarity.
Yeah. I'm sure he, like you said, he will work and sketch until he is no longer with us.
Yes, I would agree with that. So it's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen to him. I don't know. Oh my God, he's probably going to Chanel.
Did that just click in your brain? Mm-hmm. Do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Would it be a good fit? In your opinion? It would make Chanel definitely more out of the box.
Grittier.
Yeah. Yeah. A little darker, perhaps. More dramatic, perhaps.
My brain is swirling.
I know. Now I got it swirling.
It just seems kind of wild that John Galliano would be leaving Margiela. Well, Chanel is open.
It's conveniently looking. Well, stay tuned. We'll have to do another fashion news you need to know update. Okay. This morning, WWD and Beauty Inc. Awards were held, and our buddy, friend of the podcast, Bobby Brown, won the Pete Bourne Impact Award, which is so cool. You actually I feel like this was like a day ago or maybe yesterday, you received some Jones Road products. I saw.
Jones Road's amazing.
Is amazing.
I mean, Bobby Brown's a force. I mean, and truthfully, I'm so impressed with her because she built her own brand, sold her brand, built a new brand.
I mean, she's done it like twice in a major way.
Yeah, and also like I'm here to tell you that building any brand is impossible. Sure. I don't want to say impossible, but always challenging.
Not easy.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So Bobby Brown was given an award, and also there was a special newcomer award this year for Blake Lively.
She's on fire.
For Blake Brown Beauty, which is right now hair products. But yes, she was there to accept her newcomer award in the beauty space.
She's a force, Blake Lively.
She is.
She went and popped out 4 kids.
Yep.
Seemingly overnight, although clearly I'm sure if you asked her, it was definitely not overnight.
Nope.
She's strikingly beautiful.
She has a beverage company.
She has a beverage company, Betty Buzz.
That's correct.
And
now a beauty brand.
Now, I think the thing with Blake, listen, I am such an advocate, and I'm here to say now that my next podcast is going to be about the independence of women and how to create it, and how I demand it, how I insist on it, and how it will ultimately save you in every aspect of your life.
Yes.
And I have a tremendous amount of respect for Blake because I think many people probably looked at her as crushing it as Serena Vanderwoodson for whatever it was, 8 years of that show, Gossip Girl, that little show. And I think people were like, oh, that'll be the end of her. She's just this beautiful whatever. And she went on to do major roles, still doing major roles.
Yes, still
marrying and seemingly both incredibly in love and have a very powerful marriage. They are absolutely in love with each other. And
like America's sweethearts.
Yes.
Plural.
Yes. Yeah. And have born 4 kids.
Insane. And I mean, she's so smart because who doesn't want Blake Lively's hair? I mean,
do.
It's gorgeous.
I would
I'm
here. But I'd also like Blake Lively's anything. Sure. I take the height. I take the hair. I take the bone structure. I'm here for it. I take 3 for girls because she, I think, has 3.
She does. I think she has 1 boy, right?
Yeah.
Her baby's a boy. Yeah. That's so sweet. So love that for Blake. And I'm dying to try her products. Like, I feel like Blake doing hair makes as much sense as Jennifer Aniston doing hair, because
like Jen Aniston with hair. Yeah.
I mean, these women have the best heads in Hollywood. Okay. Yeah. Rachel, you sent me this story last night, and I think it's very interesting because I would love for you to share with our listeners a little bit more about sort of the CEOs behind this.
Yeah.
But Skims.
Mm-hmm. You've heard of that.
If you've heard of that. Yes. Kim Kardashian brand Skims is opening a flagship store in New York on 5th Avenue, which is, if you're going to open retail, that's just sort of the dream, the mecca of American brick and mortar.
It's the dream. It is.
She did an article in WWD with Jens, and I'll let you share about Jens and his genius and his wife, and talk about another fashion power couple.
Yeah, I don't think there's a power couple that exists that I'm aware of in the fashion industry. Maybe Bernard Arnault.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I would say that there is a husband and wife duo that I have been lucky enough to call friends actually before they became the powerhouse duo they are. And I've watched them build their careers simultaneously, independently and together, launching their own brands separate and then coming together. I met Jens as the co-founder of Frame Denim.
Yep.
Which is a very successful denim and contemporary brand. Genius marketers.
Yep.
Absolutely genius marketers. Jens and his partner then, Eric Torstensen, who still is running Frame. And then Jens and Emma moved to the States from the UK, married, 2 kids, now have 4. And literally, Emma created Good American,
right,
along with Khloe Kardashian, to unbelievable success. Unbelievable success. And Jens then founded Skims with Kim and Chris and the whole thing. And Emma also has the Safely brand with Chris, which is household cleaners, non-toxic cleaners. Yeah. And the list goes on. They have their hands in many things. They're public in terms of they speak, they mentor.
Yes.
Emma's been on Shark Tank multiple times.
Yes.
Jens is, I'm going to say, the silent powerhouse only because I feel like while Kim brings him and shows him and does photo shoots with him and whatever, you know, I think when you're sitting next to Kim, it's hard for, you know, I think it's...
Yeah.
and also Jens is not there to get the attention, but
no.
I would say the attention needs to go there. Some of it anyway.
And Skims, I mean, I'm sure our listeners have seen it and are aware, but their marketing campaigns are also just...
Genius. And they have just launched, literally yesterday, a collaboration with the North Face, which, you know, I'm a skier, and, you know, you don't have to be a skier to love North Face. You can be an anything person who's cold, but in ski life, it's a big
brand,
thing.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I just happened to like click on it to just, you know,
Sold out.
Be like, hey, I wonder if they have my size, or I just want to see how much it is or whatever. I mean, sold out in 20 seconds.
Yeah,
like
sold out.
It was sold out before
like an hour.
Even. Yeah, not even. I don't even think it makes it an hour.
Probably not. Yeah.
And in fact, I think their slogan is when they post a collab or like a launch or a drop, they just go join the wait list.
Yeah,
it's not like get yours. It's join the fucking wait list.
Yeah. Get in line, lady.
How to succeed in business. Join the wait list.
I love that.
How do you know when you're winning?
Maybe that's the new name of your new podcast book. Join the wait list.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Skims continuing to do big things. I can't wait to go to the flagship store in New York. How cool, how amazing. Also this week, big Hollywood news. The Golden Globe nominations came out.
Oh, my God.
And there are some very familiar names on the list this
Both been
year.
on Climbing in Heels.
Yes.
Sarah and Aaron Foster.
Yep.
And the show
Creators,
Nobody Wants
producers,
This. Creators and producers and writer.
Yes. Yep.
Of Nobody Wants This. And
the massive Netflix hit. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you probably listened to Aaron and Sarah and watched that show because it's amazing. It was the return of the rom-com.
It really, and I think that it could not have come at a better time.
Yes.
I don't think any of us needed a rom-com more than right now. I know I didn't.
There was such an appetite for it. They're already like hard at work back in the writer's room for season 2. But yes, so the show got recognized for Best Comedy for a Golden Globe, and then Kristen Bell and Adam Brody were nominated for their performances in the show. So this brings me to a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, Sarah and Aaron, if you're listening to this right now, no, you're not. If Sarah and Aaron were to, let's say, I don't know, need help getting dressed, I don't know, we'll call it styling, I don't know, for something like that, would you?
Of course.
Would you? Okay.
Of course.
All right. You heard it here.
I don't shut down my friends, but they don't need it. They can custom make favorite daughter for them.
I'm sure they could, but let's just say that they want a little Rachel So red carpet magic.
Sure.
This could be Rachel's return to the Globe's carpet.
You know I show up for my friends. But yeah, I think, listen, they really deserve this. And I've kind of been here to see, Aaron kind of, just watch these girls kind of create this show and this dream. And it's not easy.
No.
It took a long time. And I think to just see it get so recognized in such a controversial topic, by the way, I think part of the genius that can't go unrecognized or underappreciated is that it is a controversial topic for many people. And I think the fact that she was able to make it light enough and funny enough that everyone loved it.
Sure.
That is so hard.
Yeah.
And I will say that Kristen Bell playing Erin is one of the greatest things ever.
Sure. Yeah.
And one may argue she wasn't playing Erin, but she was totally playing Erin.
Right. A version of Erin. An alternate universe.
And playing Erin Foster is not easy, I'm here to say.
No.
She's a very complex individual.
Yes. Yeah.
All good things.
And hilarious.
Complex. She's one of the funniest people I know, but I think that's why it's so hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Comedy's hard.
Yeah, a lot of other names you know and love were also nominated. Demi Moore.
Yep.
Naomi Watts.
Yep. I know. I'm so excited about that.
So yeah, the Golden Globes is going to be fun to watch this year.
Was Nicole Kidman nominated?
She was,
right?
Yes.
I feel like she's always nominated.
She doesn't stop working.
How many dresses do you think Nicole Kidman has worn in her career?
That's a really good question.
I think I should take a poll.
For
should
carpet?
We take a poll for our listeners?
Yeah.
How many red carpet looks do you think Nicole Kidman has worn in her career?
God. You would have to figure out some sort of monthly math of how many is she doing a month, right?
Well, you have to think about it.
And then how many years? I mean, she's decades long successful now.
She gets nominated every time she opens her mouth.
Sure. Fair. And she should.
On a screen.
Yeah.
Right?
Because she's one of the greatest living actors of all time.
Of all time.
In my opinion. Yeah.
I think in anyone's opinion.
This is what you do when you have high standards and fancy all the fancy things, like an iconic Dior saddlebag or that diamond tennis bracelet. You go to eBay. There you'll find new loves that will never disappoint, expertly authenticated and everything. Whether it's that vintage pearl necklace or brand new ruby earrings, a Prada crossbody bag to be besties with your other handbags, even an eternally classic watch like that Rolex Oyster or that Cartier tank. You know the one. And when you find it, eBay has their experts' eyes to make sure you're getting the real deal. That way you can be confident that the designer finds you came for, the luxury wardrobe you've always wanted, it's all real. In fact, it's verified authentic. So bring your high standards and never limit what you can find. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay, things people love.
Introducing Signals, the next generation of platforms for investors, designed to elevate your trading strategy by giving access to insights used by Wall Street pros to dominate the market. Signals uses its proprietary data of $70 billion in consumer spend across North America to spot market trends before they make the headlines. We bring you the alternative data that drives decisions at top hedge funds, allowing you to carve your own edge in the stock market. Join the insider circle who are already transforming their investment strategies. Visit joinsignals.com to start your free 14-day trial. No hidden fees, no gimmicks, just pure, actionable insights. End your reliance on outdated information. With Signals, invest like a pro, make informed decisions swiftly, and stay ahead of the curve. Uncover tomorrow's market moves with today's real-time data. Visit joinsignals.com today.
Congratulations to the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine for the first ever Malcolm Gladwell Tipping Point designation at this year's Unconventional Awards by T-Mobile for Business. The university used integrated IoT devices and 5G solutions from T-Mobile to enable multiple synchronized health monitors, allowing for real-time remote data collection and analysis. The initiative will shape patient care moving forward, and for that, T-Mobile congratulates the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine.
For many of us, the holiday season means more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more of your personal information in more places you can't control. It only takes one innocent mistake, even if it's not your mistake, to expose you to identity theft. Not to worry, LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second and alerts you to threats you could miss by yourself, even if you keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed. The last thing you want to do this holiday season is face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft all alone. Gift yourself the peace of mind that comes with LifeLock and spend more time doing more of the holiday things you love. Visit lifelock.com/iHeart and save up to 40% your first year. That's 40% off at lifelock.com/iHeart. LifeLock, for the threats you can't control.
This holiday season, surprise everyone on your list with the best gifts. Tickets to see their favorite artists live. Choose from thousands of concerts and comedy shows, including Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, Matt Matthews, Metallica, Thomas Rhett, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Sarah Silverman, and so many more. Share a memory together or give a gift they'll never forget. Find the most exciting gift for every fan at livenation.com/gifts. That's livenation.com/gifts.
Moving to our next story, talking about somebody who is nominated for everything and wins a lot of awards and is at the tippy top of her career. Taylor Swift.
Oh my God.
Closed the Eras Tour.
I mean,
this week after 2 years.
I feel like this is a pop culture episode.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Is. So, but some factoids for you. The Eras Tour spanned over 2 years long. The total
3.5 hours on stage every night.
Yes, it was like, I think the show typically went 3 hours, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. Between 44 and 48 songs every night or every show.
Do you know how sick that is?
Ticket sales grossed over $2 billion in just ticket revenue.
That's mental.
That's not merch. That's not anything else.
That's mental.
And this is my favorite fashion tie-in. She wore over 250 custom pairs of Christian Louboutin shoes during the span of the Eras Tour. Oh my God. Insane.
You know, here's what I want to say about Taylor Swift, okay? Because this is interesting, and you know this already, Mary. Yeah. I'm embarrassingly late to the T-Swift thing, right?
I think a lot of people are.
Well,
but yeah.
I think if you're a grown-up, which I consider myself to be most of the time, I think, and I don't want to say this, but because I don't have girls that are Swifties,
right,
or a son that's obsessed with Taylor Swift, or any child in my household that is like a Swiftie.
Obsessed with the music or
right.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have it going in my house all day, right?
Correct.
So in all fairness, I am a late Swiftie.
Okay.
Now,
that's valid.
I have been fortunate enough to have met her several times. Mm-hmm. She is one of the kindest, incredibly tall people. But she was also one of the very first supporters of my collection.
Really?
Yep. She was Joseph Cassell, her stylist, pulled the Rachel Zoe collection. And I very clearly remember Taylor wearing my jumpsuit, my romper, I think the tuxedo mini dress I think that J-Lo wore early on. But what I want to say is I am obsessed with her. And I want to say that because it's so above and beyond the music. Because I think her music's undoubtedly, unquestionably amazing, right?
Yeah.
I think originally I had thought, okay, if I was 14 or younger, then I know every word or whatever. The reality of it is she is by far and away the greatest role model, in my opinion, in pop culture for girls of any age, for women. She is one of the hardest working people I've ever seen. She's one of the kindest, most gracious.
Yes.
Kind.
And she gave out over $100 million in bonuses and cash to the crew.
Yeah. I saw that. And she continuously makes me happy.
Yeah.
Meaning in her decision making, in how she uses her voice, in how she speaks for girls and women, in how she writes her music, and how true she is to herself.
Yes.
To owning mistakes, to trying to teach people to learn from what she's done.
Yes.
For better, for worse. I just have tremendous respect for her.
Yes.
So like taking the music out of it, and yes, I love that, but I love her.
Yes.
I think she's fantastic. And I think that she has come into her own as giving zero fucks. And even if she does give fucks, she is so on top of the world that she should give no fucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And live her life on her terms.
I'm excited for her to like take a break.
Yeah, I know. I know. She needs a long ass vacation, but she's not the type to do it. No. She'll take a week.
No. Well, she still has more re-recorded albums to drop. So
right, of course she does.
She's never done. She's like that John Galliano type.
Right. And that's my point.
Yeah.
She's prolific in music the same way these people are in fashion or in anything else, you know, medical, you know, doctors and researchers who just keep cranking out more and more and more and more. That like there is a thirst for what she does. There's a passion that clearly polarizes her whole being, you know, and that's through writing and everything else. And I think she uses her music as therapy. And I think she genuinely just lives and dies for what she does. And I think the impact that she's had when you look at these girls crying and you look at these girls, you know, dressed as her and boys, honestly, it's really, she's incredibly impressive.
Yes.
I was also very late to the Harry Styles thing too.
Yeah, you were.
I was.
I'm sure I needed to.
I was.
I needed to start you with Harry earlier.
Yeah, I'm mad at you for that.
I know. Well, we love you, Harry. We
and now I'm a Swiftie. Now I'm a Swiftie and obsessed with Harry Styles.
I love it. I love it. We'll talk about another icon, legend in music and in fashion and in pop culture that does not stop working. Iconic, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton just went on a podcast and said, so a fun fact about Dolly, I am sort of like obsessed with her, being a Southern girl. She's been married for nearly 60 years. She has a husband named Carl Dean that literally nobody sees. Like he's not in the public.
I literally didn't know she had a husband.
Exactly. Most people do not know she's married.
Yeah.
So in this podcast interview, she said that she
doesn't seem like the type that would be married.
She's so dedicated to
being Dolly.
Her music, being Dolly. Yeah, it is. She's so dedicated to Dolly that, Well, she does talk about that's, you know, a decision why she decided not to have children is because she was like, I didn't know how to do both. But anyways, so she did an interview and said that she talked her husband Carl into going to this red carpet event with her, and he had such a terrible time and was so uncomfortable and just doesn't like the attention, doesn't like being in the business like that he has not attended an event with her since 1967.
That's the sickest thing ever.
So Dolly, since 1967, has done every carpet alone. But you know what? Every award show, every Grammy, everything.
Good for her and good for him.
Right. Because clearly it works.
Good for him to know he doesn't like it and is confident in that decision. And good for her to accept that from him.
And respect that boundary.
I'm going to be Dolly. I'll see you when I get home.
I would be a nightmare. I'd be like, why won't you go? I would ruin lives.
Yeah, but look at me.
Yeah. True.
Maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, no. I mean,
separate church and state.
But I think so. Like that. I think the point she was driving home was it works for us, and clearly it's that separation. I think she's even quoted as saying we're not in each other's faces all the time.
Which I think is a good thing.
I think that's a really knowledgeable takeaway.
I know a lot of people like that in the industry where, you know, relationships are, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
But I would say relationships are such that I think you have to, the ones that last the longest, I think are the ones where the partners respect each other's wishes and boundaries of how they are happiest and most comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I think the minute you try to pull them over to a place they're not, there's just going to be consequences of that.
Yeah.
And it may not be immediate. It may be later.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You know?
That's a good
So
call.
I get it. I think Dolly's onto something.
I think she's very much onto something. She's, I mean, iconic, and I love her. I just love that she gave the advice of we're not in each other's faces.
Right.
Words to live by.
Right.
Okay, our final story is, I know that you have seen, because how can you get away from it, that Wicked has done the most massive of press tours.
Oh my God.
With Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah.
And they were starting this bubble of marketing back at like the Met Gala when they went.
Literally.
You know? So,
and I'm so slow with these things because I'm not like a theater.
Yes. You're not a theater nerd.
I'm not. I was raised as one.
Yes.
Because my parents are such theater nerds.
And by the way, didn't you low-key grow up with Idina Menzel?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Well, I met her in my freshman year of college because my best friend that went to NYU was her best friend and roommate.
I see.
So we became close, and the
iconic
Idina Menzel. And I
founded the role of Elphaba on Broadway.
Literally. And you know, we used to go see Idina perform at what is it called? Like the Red Bull Inn, like all these like West Village, Greenwich Village, like dive bars. And I remember like sitting there at like 1 a.m. while she was singing at the top of her lungs, like the most beautiful voice you ever heard. And we would all look at each other like, why isn't she on Broadway? Why isn't she winning Tonys? Like,
and then I'm sure she got Rent and like blew up.
That's exactly. And we all went to see the very first night of Rent.
Wow.
With Taye Diggs and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I can't remember everyone's name. Adam Pascal, I want to say maybe. And Rent was beyond. And then, you know, and then they were all born into it. And, you know, and then Wicked and the whole thing. And then came Wicked and Frozen and the thing.
And now this press tour, that's just
wild.
massive.
It's wild.
And what I wanted you to talk about, because I'm curious your take on it, is I feel like the women, so Ariana and Cynthia.
Does Ariana not look like a doll to you?
Yeah, she does. She's like a beautiful little doll.
She looks like this little porcelain doll to me. She almost doesn't seem real.
It's like that's why she's the perfect Glenda, because it's the same as when you see Kristen Chenoweth. They look like these little dolls, and then they sing, and you're like, holy shit. Where does that come from?
Ariana Grande's voice is not human.
It's so beautiful, and she does such a great job as Glenda, and so does Cynthia.
I cannot wait to see it.
It's so good.
Cannot wait.
So good. You're gonna love it. But what I noticed from the carpet was, which I feel like is a newer take on what stylists or publicists or the powers that be that are marketing these films are doing, which is they're having the leads dress in a reflective or direct way as the character.
Yeah.
And it started with Barbie and Margot.
Yeah.
In my opinion. That's where it sort of first started.
Yep.
And there's this massive trend. So, like, you've seen Cynthia Erivo in, like, basically all green gowns.
Yep.
You see Ariana in all pink and sort of fairy-like, ethereal looks.
Don't forget Deadpool and Wolverine. And don't forget Dune.
Right.
And don't forget the thematic, like Zendaya coming out in that, like, crazy outfit for
the Mugler, like, robot suit.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
cool.
cool.
And then Blake Lively again, like, coming out in the, was it the Wolverine costume?
Yes, it was the...
Her and...
Or she was...
Gigi Hadid. They both...
She was dressed as Deadpool, and Gigi was dressed as Wolverine.
Correct. I was I'm trying to remember that moment, but I just remember I was like, huh? But listen, here's the thing. I think it's hard because I think it's a little bit, I can take it back to even like Austin Butler kind of coming out as Elvis with the voice.
Oh, yeah.
With the voice and kind of dressing.
And the press was so gnarly about that, but yeah.
I know, but here's the thing. I think that with these actors, they are so deeply talented. And I think they have to become these characters for so long when they're filming it because we all see the finished product, right? They've been working on this for years.
Oh, yeah.
They have to be these people for 14 hours a day for years sometimes, literally, that I think they actually get confused of who they are in their identities. And I do think that happens. And I think even Austin Butler came out and actually said that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a known thing.
Shaking Elvis.
Literally.
Yeah.
But what I would say to that is I'm conflicted because I do like a nod to a theme.
Sure.
I do. I like a nod to a theme. I don't know that I love a literal.
Yeah.
A literal interpretation. So I don't want to take down anyone's styling because I think it's all been quite historic and amazing and memorable.
It's working.
These
working. Films are crushing box offices.
Correct.
So,
but I think I like subtle nods typically more. So I think in the Barbie sense, like because I'm such a Margot Robbie fan, it was hard for me to not to say like I don't love that, but I also was sort of like, can't we do a nod and not a literal,
not replicate in a way.
But at the same time, I think it's sort of like the art continues. So it's like I can really make a case for both. But I think in the case of Cynthia and Ariana, I think in the marketing of it all, it clearly is working. I think it's still so nice because they clearly believe so much in their characters.
Yeah.
And I think, look, the press tour is going to end. It's all going to end.
Yeah.
And then they'll flip into their next character.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Well, and then they, there's Wicked Part 2 that they have to promote.
Course.
So it's like, it's never ending. But I just was curious what your thought was, because there is this, it's a very apparent trend of this, giving the fans what they want, giving the people what they want, and paying less attention to maybe even the individual actor or performer's own, expression of whatever. They seem fully game and wanting to lean into that.
Yeah, and I do wonder. Like, I do wonder how much of it is orchestrated by the studios with them versus how much is created by the stylists along with them, you know?
Yeah. Well, those are the fashion news stories that you need to know. And I want to ask you one more question. Because I won't have an opportunity to do it, I don't think, because we've got some great guests coming. Who is your best dressed celeb of the year?
Oh my God. Who is my best dressed celeb?
And the year's not over, but who is right now, or who are some of? I'll say that, so you don't have to go.
I mean, listen, most definitely Nicole Kidman.
Yes.
Because she very rarely gets it wrong for me. She very rarely gets it wrong for me. And there's something about how she carries herself in clothes, meaning she has this way that she moves her body like a swan and she has the longest neck and the whole thing, and the way that she's able to hold something. It could be the simplest, like, Balenciaga gown. There was this look that she wore to the Academy Gala that I loved so much.
Yep.
And it was like the gloves and the thing, and it was like a remake of this Balenciaga dress. And, you know, I love someone who can flip a switch and do a black velvet dress, but also do like the crazier moment, right? But I do love someone who can wear it, you know? So I think Nicole, from the day she hit her very first red carpet, has always gotten it right. Yes. Yeah. And I love it. I love that look so much. Who else? You know, I think Kerry Washington.
Yes.
I have to say, in my mind, that I'm thinking of, I don't think she's ever missed this year. Like, I actually think I was absolutely obsessed with everything that she's worn. And the thing with Kerry, what I've also loved is the hair and the makeup.
Yes.
With every look, she's done this real chameleon thing, which I love. I absolutely love.
Your favorite newcomer, I think.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Phoebe Dynevor.
Yes.
From Bridgerton. If you're not familiar with her, she is like, you know, here's the thing. What I love about her is she actually goes above and beyond to keep every look true to her. She wears very little makeup.
She's so beautiful.
She keeps everything so simple and subtle and elegant.
Yes.
And much more of an Audrey, right? Like much more of a elegant, minimal, dove, swan-like person. She reads very ballerina vibe to me. And she's so talented. But I love how minimal she is and ethereal. And yet, if she's wearing Louis Vuitton, which she does most often, she really makes it her own. Her clothes never overpower her. She's gorgeous. And I love that about her.
Definitely one to watch.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I have to say J-Lo, and I know that she's J-Lo, and I know we've seen her for 100 years. But honestly, I have to give props to someone who seemingly ages backwards and just always looks healthy, strong, dewy. Chloe, I always say she was airbrushed by God.
She was.
But honestly, she can wear the dress that looks basically naked into a full Chloe moment with like a train as long as the hallway. Like she really is a chameleon and wears things to shut it down all the time. And flops. Meaning like goes from one extreme on a Monday to the opposite extreme on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I know her stylist, Robin Marielle, and, you know, they're doing such a good job. And you know, listen, it's collaborative, but I think at the end of the day, I mean, crushing it. Truthfully, crushing it.
Really is.
You know?
Really stunning. Can't wait to see what she does in 2025 also.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Climbing in Heels today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the iHeart app, or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss a single episode this season. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Rachel Zoe and the show on @Climbing in Heels Pod for the latest episodes and updates. I will talk to you very soon. Mwah.
Ah, and here we have travelers in their natural habitat enjoying guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout at fine hotels and resorts booked through Amex Travel. And they don't even see what's coming at them.
We're in. We got the table.
Yep, with Resi Priority Notify, they're alerted when hard-to-get reservations open up.
Reservation for 2? Save the best for last.
Thanks to Amex Platinum, the last day vacation brings yet another experience. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withAmex.
This holiday season, surprise everyone on your list with the best gifts. Tickets to see their favorite artists live. Choose from thousands of concerts and comedy shows, including Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, Matt Matthews, Metallica, Thomas Rhett, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Sarah Silverman, and so many more. Share a memory together or give a gift they'll never forget. Find the most exciting gift for every fan at livenation.com/gifts. That's livenation.com/gifts.
The holidays are here, and so is the IKEA winter sale. Now's your chance to make the holidays a little more magical and less expensive. Save up to 50% off on select items in-store and online now through January 7th. Plus, IKEA loyalty members get an extra 10% off on sale items. Offer valid in the U.S. through 1/7 while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store and IKEA-USA.com/winter sale for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
For many of us, the holiday season means more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more of your personal information in more places you can't control. It only takes one innocent mistake, even if it's not your mistake, to expose you to identity theft. Not to worry, LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second and alerts you to threats you could miss by yourself, even if you keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed. The last thing you want to do this holiday season is face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft all alone. Gift yourself the peace of mind that comes with LifeLock and spend more time doing more of the holiday things you love. Visit lifelock.com/iHeart and save up to 40% your first year. That's 40% off at lifelock.com/iHeart. LifeLock, for the threats you can't control.
There's joy to be had in finding the perfect gifts for the ones you love, and Saks.com's holiday gift guide can make it easy. Whether it's surprising your hard-to-shop-for sister with a Chloe bracelet bag or gifting your partner a memorable scent from Gucci that matches their personality, Saks.com's hand-picked guide can help take the stress out of the holidays, like adding instant cheer to your home with bright decor, or giving yourself some comfort by bundling up in a scarf coat from Totem. Find gifts guaranteed to bring joy to everyone this season at Saks.com.